We should also
Remember,
say you're not an actor.
huh?
We haven't said that you're not an actor.
Oh yeah, I'm
As
not
far
an
as I know, your
actor.
only acting experience is in the school play where you were the good teenager in that adaptation of The Good Samaritan.
How the fuck do you remember that?
That's how I picture you. I
That
don't
that
care.
that is
He
that.
doesn't care.
No,
Remember
it
that?
was a. What do you want? Is how I
Yeah,
had to start it. I'll never
yeah.
forget that was my first line.
Basically the same performance in Crit. Hello and welcome to the Critcast with the Critcast, the podcast that we do to help you get to know the people behind Crit Summer Party Massacre a little bit better. I'm William J. Wallace, creator of Crit, and I'm joined today by Matt Blackhurst. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
um, we're going to keep this a bit informal today, but I'm just really eager to speak to someone who's maybe not one of the core members of the team, but has had a very big impact on the film, probably a bit more than you intended or maybe even wanted to. I did just first want to say the viewers can probably tell I'm in slightly better spirits now that we are moving out of the frustration of not editing the film period into the period of the frustration of editing. But in all seriousness, it's coming together very well. I've been editing some of your scenes, Matt. They're looking very good.
Ooh.
But yeah, first of all, how are you doing? How's lockdown? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, pretty chill. Been working from home, relaxing.
Yeah.
It's been nice and chill, to be honest with you. How have you been? How have you been in lockdown? Apart from
Yeah.
not working.
I don't know if you've been following. Yeah, not enough work. That's the main thing. It's taken a while, but it's been great to have the time to solve the problems with Crit, basically. So it was a long road. I ended up hand transferring all the VHS footage myself, which took about
Ooh.
32 hours, I think. The final time I did it, there was a few failed attempts, which was still like 20 hours. So that's over. There was definitely a bit of a rage quit period in that, so it was nice to be able to have the time to do that. But yeah, we're back on track with everything. So other than that, yeah, just reading, watching films, and playing video games and stuff.
Good.
I finished Last of Us,
Did you?
the first one.
I still have never played The Last of Us.
I thought you recommended it to me.
No, I think Sam did because
You
I've
definitely
always been
did.
the
Yeah.
other side of the coin. I've been an Xbox boy.
Of course, right. Okay. Yeah, as I might have said earlier, I definitely it's going to be off track today because I've kind of deliberately left us on the air to catch up, me and Matt, who haven't seen each other. When was the last time I saw you? It's pretty around Christmas, wasn't it?
I think it was the Christmas Escapades was the
Yeah.
proper last time we actually saw each other.
We got the whole gang back in Wimborne from Sheffield and Birmingham, so they basically span the whole country between us.
Yeah, it's been
And
pretty
all hell
good.
broke loose. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I thought it'd be really interesting to talk to you because you've ended up having a very big role in the film. You've also were in the short, of course. So you've kind of always been a part of the project, but very much more on that line of, "Hey, you free? Can you come down? Can you help?" Rather than being like,
Well,
I don't want to demean your input, but you weren't someone who we were coming up with ideas together necessarily,
it
or
was more me just asking, "Hey, Will, next time you do a film, can I go in
well,
it?"
I'm glad that's how you remember because I wasn't sure if I badgered you into it or not. But yeah, I just wanted what was your first memory of Crit? And
My first memory of Crit was um, the short when I had been out. I think it was the Friday night or so, or it was a Saturday or something. And
I
I was really
think it
hungover.
was,
I woke up about midday, and you were like, "Oh, we're doing this short.
yeah,
Do you want to come down?" I was like, "Well, I'm going to Wimbledon. Yeah, I'll pop down. Should I
yeah,
be in? Can I be in it?" And you were like, "Yeah, we're just getting everybody in anything.
yeah,
Let's make this happen all in a day, shooting it all."
yeah.
And I remember turning up and thinking, I have no idea what's happening. Like, I literally was just, okay, yeah, this would be a bit of a laugh. You're like, right, so you're going to do this, you're going to do this. I was like,
Yeah,
how have you already planned what I'm going to be doing in like the space of maybe 25 minutes?
that's it. Because I remember like there was a lot of it was like this on that shoot. Was I didn't really know if you were going to show up or not, which probably continued into the feature a little bit. So yeah, it was very much think of on the fly. But I'd obviously brought a leather jacket down for you.
Yep.
That was the only prop, and my
No, there was
favorite
two
mem.
props. There was two props. There was the
Well,
USB cable, which I tied
that's
around my head.
that's what I'm gonna say because I remember the whole idea of the scene. Because bear in mind, this is the Crit short. It's a trailer, so we're thinking of what could be the bigger story here, and we thought, okay, Brian's character being bullied, robot kills his bully. That's a good scene. Such a good scene. It's in the feature film. But I remember you putting on the leather jacket, and I was like, I want that 80s bully feel, the classic golden age of bullying. So he needs a headband or something. I was like, Matt, do you have anything you can tie around your head, like like a tie even, or something stupid like that you do in school? And you just go to your car and come back with a USB tied around your head. And I loved it, and I really wish we kept it in the feature because I really enjoyed that. I don't think you probably wouldn't notice it, but if you go back and watch the short, Matt has a USB tied around his head.
Yeah, I remember that because that was so weird. And then I think, didn't I say, because you were like, I'll buy you a pint or something for doing it. I was like, no, can I just have the leather jacket when you're done?
Well, I think the one you wore in the short, this isn't particularly interesting, I have to cut this out, but the one you wore in the short was the one I was wearing on my motorbike, because I was still very much motorbiking around
Yeah, I think
at that stage. But we did get another one, which I think actually Imi, who is our costumer, donated to the production, which you wore in the feature. Did you end up with that in the end?
No, because I remember that was the Sunday when I turned up and I wasn't really in a state to exist.
I think we probably will get to that, but I think we might have hung on to it just because we didn't know if we were going to have to do pickups with your body, because Matt does get killed very gorily. I don't know how much of that we're going to reveal ahead of screening the film. Because I think that body actually went mouldy in a caravan after a while. And I'd said that we should get together and bury it in the woods next to Faye's house.
Oh, fair, yeah.
We should probably get the police out, but
you know what you should do? You should save that for when you're doing just something off the cuff, another idea, and then just like burn it, and it'd be like a thing where there's just like this burning body, but it's actually
You'd be amazed how often like practical effects do get reused in films. But yeah, so I guess that jacket is yours. But the point I was going to make is that it's only now when we're actually being able to cut these scenes together after all this issue, translating VHS into a workable format with good quality. That's been the hard part. Again, the quality there's still what's there to begin with. You can't see if anything cuts together or not. So far so good. It's cutting together pretty well.
Well, I remember you saying, because when you were talking about getting it edited, it's like, oh yeah, we're getting near to finishing now. We just need to edit it, and it's like, oh, okay. And in my mind, obviously not having any idea, I'm thinking, well, this is going to be like, a couple of evenings. And then I remember we were down the pub, and you were like, yeah, so I've got to basically send everything off to this place, and then they're meant to be pulling it all across, but I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, they've got, how many hours was it? Something like, it was crazy amount of hours of actual footage they had or something.
Are you talking about the short or the feature?
I think, because I can't remember which one it was, but I remember you saying at the time it was like 400 hours or something.
I think there's about 32 hours of footage existing, because we shoot quite a bad ratio, because a lot of it's improvised and we're working on actors a lot. So, I mean, that's probably, we've shot roughly 3/4 of the film, which would be about 50 minutes, I guess. So the shoot ratio is pretty whack. It's like 30-1.
But that was kind of, we just figured, like, for you figuring it all out, and for us kind of like,
it's been tough. But
yeah, go on.
I was going to say, even on the short though, to your point, we still had, it took a while to get around to editing because we had to send that footage off and get it back, and looking back, that's the same transfer that we had an issue with on the feature. We're just like, this isn't good enough. This is boring stuff, which I'll probably talk about in the Kickstarter updates, but it's been a real challenge.
But my back to the first thing. Yeah, so that was the first experience, and then it was sort of, oh yeah, here we go, this is it, let's do this. And then I didn't really know what was happening, because I think you were like, oh yeah, because I wanted my car to be in it more than I wanted to be in it.
Which it was, yeah.
And then you were like, oh yeah, here we go, and you sent it to me, and I was like, oh my god, I was not expecting it to be as, because you started it and you had a different idea, didn't you? Because originally the short was going to be like really serious, and then you were kind of like, well, hold on, I can actually make this a little bit more fun. And
well, I've talked about this a little bit on my interview, but the crit concept came from a few ideas that have been knocking about. But I think what you might be thinking of was, I originally talked to you about putting your car in another project I wanted to do, which is called Mr. Bricky.
Oh, okay.
Which was about, it was like a revenge movie, so it wasn't, it was still a bit schlocky, but it was a serious setup, I guess. And that the idea for that was just the full Robert Rodriguez idea. I'm just going to get everything I have access to and write script around it. So obviously you're fucking, it's an RX-7, right?
Yeah.
Just obscenely fast. But how is it doing, by the way?
It's very good. It's alive, and I bought another one.
Okay.
I have
Was
two.
it a donor or?
No, it's literally just a piece of car. It's like a piece of metal. It doesn't even have seats or lights or anything.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't have any bumpers. But I bought it because it was cheap, and I thought I can fix mine with bits off it, but I can't because there's no bits on it. So now I've literally just got this bare metal shell. It's like, yeah, this is cool. It's sort of an ornament in my workshop. I mean, the best shot of that short is the bit when you see my car pull up.
Yeah. We had the motorbike in there as well, all stuff that I think was kind of a hangover from that project. We wanted to make this action movie for nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Mazda's found its way into the feature yet, but I know we do want to have a motorbike chase at some point if we can pull it off. So.
No, I mean I can't be involved in anything like that because my car, I got my speeding ticket.
Oh right.
And so now I drive everywhere like 10 miles an hour, just like, please don't, oh, clutch in, please.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. But I guess this brings me to another thing I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, actually, there's quite a bit to talk about with you, really. So we'll see how we do for time. We're already 10 minutes in. But a big contribution you actually had to the project was getting me a job at because that job really made this film possible. I probably shouldn't have named them by name. I would bleep that out.
Yeah. Just beep it.
Yeah, but I mean, I wrote the script before I started my shift in the offices.
And during the shifts.
And yeah, it's not right. Remember, I used to turn the script software black and green, and people would think I was like hacking into the databases.
No, I remember that because you got all buddy with the floor manager. I won't mention him by name because he's moved on now.
Right.
And it was a case of like I had been there for years, and then you were his new favourite person.
Right.
And he just didn't like me. Well, he never liked me really. But he was like, oh, hold on, I can talk films with this guy. I can talk loads of stuff. And then didn't you end up, because you ended up getting good mates with the team manager as well, didn't you? Which sort of
yes, yeah.
Yeah, which sort of helped you out in terms of making sure that you could do better, but also actually be time to crit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got on well with the management just because I was like the least snaky person there. We're talking about a sales job here, by the way, so it's not my natural setting, but it was very good on hours, and the big thing was that they would let me have basically any time off I wanted. And I often quit the job and came back to it after doing, for instance, a feature film. When I did the intent too, it allowed me to have income before and after that when I was still transitioning to being fully freelance, so it was amazing. But also, we actually shot part of the short in the offices, if you remember.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a pickup we wanted to do, which was this sort of like, super classified briefing about the robot, which I think is just your shoulder, and we shot it in one of the side rooms where you'd do training and stuff like that.
And did we do that in lunch, or was that actually during work time? I can't quite remember.
I think it was lunch, but we definitely could have done it during work time. That job, it helped me, put money aside for starting shooting and stuff like that. So it was incredibly invaluable. And a funny note, if you go on our YouTube channel, there's footage from the screening of the short, which you were at, so we could talk about that as well. Oh. But because it's on tape, the second before that starts, it's the floor manager telling me to turn the camera off because of data protection. Check that out; it's very funny.
Oh, I've got to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I remember you were pretty loose at the screening, if I recall. I think there's video evidence. I was too. I was very drunk. Actually. But what are your memories of the premiere of the short?
Wasn't it at the Four Horsemen, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember turning up to that, and I was like, because I'd hardly met anybody else. I think I knew like 3 or 4 people there.
Yeah.
I remember there was one bit where I did my Derren Brown routine. And I was like, oh yeah, so I can tell you've got a younger brother, haven't you? What? How do you know that? I was like,
you're just blowing minds.
Yeah, just literally pure guesswork and crossing my fingers, hoping I'm right about stuff, and then being very vague with everything until you see them notice something.
Yeah, was that the first time you saw the short?
I think it was, unless you sent the bit that I was in. And I was like, that actually looks amazing. And then we saw the short, and I was like, this is insane.
And so you liked it then?
Yeah, because I remember like the whole idea. I was like, what was it? Where you go computer say where you're making all the jumps, and I was like, I creased up at that. I was like, I wasn't expecting that from the same person who historically wrote, oh, what was it? Dubium Malloy. I still whip out a quote from that.
I wish I had it still.
I wish you did too. What was it? The Whippet's Wang, the Doberman's Dick, the Terrier's Todger, or something like that.
For the viewers, you might not know what we're talking about. I wrote a buddy cop script in like year.
It was like year 9, 10, 11, wasn't it? I think it was year 11.
I think it was. I'd like to think it was earlier, but how old is year 11 anyway? I was young. But yeah, we never made it. But I was always writing stuff back then, and of course, one thing I did write that we actually shot was Welcome to Cannibal County, which was my first film, which you were also involved in.
Yeah, I was. What was my title?
Well, you wanted me to credit you as Champion Spliffmeister,
Yeah,
but you were technically second AC, I guess. Which
second
you actually
AC.
did. You actually did a bit of on Cyber Party Massacre as well, watching the rushes.
You
were slacking a bit.
You told me to hold the boom, and even that was a challenge.
Yeah,
when we were doing Cannibal County, I just remember that was a case of, oh, we're filming. That means I'm turning up, I'm getting pissed, I'm getting in the way, and then I've got to sit and be quiet for some of it. Yeah. That was such an experience filming that though.
Yeah, I mean we were really in the trenches on that. It's a 15-minute horror short that's pretty incoherent, but it was the first thing I ever did. Very ambitious.
It was very ambitious because I remember you saying you wanted to make that into a feature film, and we were like,
we were planning on that for a while.
We had no idea what we were even doing.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
We've still been learning throughout this process, but I think compared to doing a feature out of a horror film where it needs to be serious, I think something like Crit allows a bit more experimentation and allows us to have a bit more fun. I feel like we're still having fun making it. I don't know how you felt about days on set.
Yeah.
We're jumping between topics here. I don't know if we want to talk about Cannibal County a bit more or talk about how you found
Let's talk about
shooting
Cannibal
the
County first.
Let's get it out of the way, yeah.
I think
memories of that.
If people are watching this, it's because they know of Crit, and
yeah.
I think Cannibal County is sort of, it was like, compared to even what you've been involved in, you didn't really have much experience. You didn't really know what
was the very first thing.
You didn't really know what you were doing, but at the same time, it came together really, really well. And I think that, for especially being when we started that, and just being along for the ride and sitting there and watching everything happen, for me it was awesome, because I was like, oh, what are you doing at the weekend? Oh, just filming my mate's movie, just standard.
It was a real novelty back then, I think, for all of us,
But at the same time, it was almost taking what we were doing, which was going and chilling in the woods, having campfires, having a few drinks, and turning it into something that was actually productive and meant we weren't just sitting around doing nothing.
I didn't think of it. That's quite interesting, actually, because I never thought of it as a very personal film, but you're right. It was just a weird artistic extension of how we spent our evenings before we had lives. Jobs and shit.
I still remember sitting up in those woods where it was filmed, with Hugo building the treehouse.
I was going to say, that's probably a better use of time building a treehouse, because that lasts.
Well, next you had to take it down, but I remember we were sitting there, and it's like, right, priorities. So we took his old guitar amp up, we sat that down just randomly, had these cables going all the way up to the house, and we just listened to music and built the treehouse there. And then it was a case of, sort of incorporating that whole place. But I wish the treehouse had been done when Cannibal County was being filmed as well, because that could. We now had a zip line going out of it and everything.
I think the zip line was there when we did pickups, actually, with on India's camera. But it was a good time back then, just driving around in Hugo's van and messing about in the woods, getting drunk and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a good opportunity to give Hugo a shout out, because he made that film possible just by being such a handy guy. I really put him through it on that, because I was very naive and self-centered when I was like, I must have been like 19.
I think, we were 18, 19, because it's when everyone was leaving. Everyone had just left school. And
I have the benefit of having no self-doubt at all. We just shoot the film.
Yeah.
Like, if I did it now, I'd be freaking out. The absolute chaos that it was. But But yeah, Hugo picked up the slack and made sure we had power running out to the woods, and we
Yeah.
rehearsed at his. He was in it, all this stuff. So it was mad.
I love that though. That was an absolute experience, and
Yeah.
for me, I still look back on that and think I fucking enjoyed it. Can you still see me, by the way?
Yeah, it's really fine.
Yeah, my phone's being weird.
Yeah, no, I have fond memories of it. So it seems like a lifetime ago now. But I guess you probably didn't help on any of the films I did. Actually, no, tell a lie. You did a voice in my grad film.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
I remember that
They
was
were meant
odd.
to be placeholders, but we had to edit the film in 2 weeks, so we ended up using all our own voices. You were quite good, actually, I thought.
I just remember, yeah, because I can't. We were like going to the pub again, going to the pub out of the
Yeah.
ordinary for
Small
us.
town life back then.
Yeah. And I think, didn't you say, oh yeah, could you come over earlier because I need you to just do a voice for this? And I remember going up into your loft and being like, is this like some crazy sort of thing that
I
you're
need you to
doing
voice
here?
an action man for my film.
Yeah.
Man down! Man down!
Medic! Requesting extraction from Private Jennings. Private Jennings over.
Jennings, you okay? Yeah. It's not deep, you're alright.
If anyone doesn't know, I climbed up into his loft where you go up this little ladder, and there's all these wolves and action men like laying around and everything, and I was sort of like, what have I just got myself into? And then
I think
Will
every one of my
like,
friends has had that moment in my room.
Yeah, Will's there like rubbing his hands together, telling me all these things I need to say, and I'm like, I thought we were going to the pub. Like, what is happening? But yeah, that because I think we did that in like what, half an hour or something, didn't we? Where we managed to get all the voice, and you did, because Hugo was there as well, and I think, did you do a voice?
Charlie probably did.
Yeah, I think
me
Charlie
and
was
Charlie.
there.
I think. I don't think Hugo did one.
Oh no, yeah, well, yeah, because it was Charlie. Because I didn't really. Oh, I did know Charlie, but I wasn't. Was Sam there as well? Actually,
Sam helped with the set, but he wasn't a voice.
nah. Yeah.
I think after Cannibal County, you did not enjoy acting in that, but we made him.
I don't know how anybody would not enjoy Cannibal County.
Yeah, but I think generally here we're painting quite a bad picture of me as a filmmaker, which is fine because I think this is what most people are like when they start. It's very much like, I need you to do this for me, like you're just calling in so many favors, and I think that's fine when you're starting, but it's important to mature out of it. And I think it's been good with Crit because we built enough of a team and a name for ourselves that people really want to help out, and it's not so much just like taking the piss with everybody. I think. I don't know if you would agree there was a different vibe on set, but I think the fact that we still have a crew and cast on board, like nearly 3 years in now from the original film, is a testament to the fact that it's a little less me from the director's standpoint.
Yeah.
What would you say were the main differences from being on set for Crit and for Cannibal County, aside from the fact we were a little bit older?
I think the key thing was Cannibal County was sort of going on set for Cannibal County was more we're turning up like we normally do and we're filming tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so sort of chill, laid back, unorganized, and very much a case of, well, we've got to try and get this done, but everyone was sort of like, oh yeah, we'll get this done, but we also just want to drink and chill out. Turning up to actually film Crit, I'm not sure how much I can say, but one of the bits where we're in the school, like when I turned up to that, it was a totally different vibe. I mean, I actually felt like it was something professional. I mean, the fact that it's like we've got a specific area we're renting and stuff, and you can speak, you walk there, there's actually someone saying, oh yeah, who are you? You need to do this, you need to do this. There's people you don't know, there's people behind the scenes, as opposed to, oh, Matt, you're not in this scene, can you hold the boom? It's a case of, these are the sound guys, this is where it's being shot from, we've got this shot, this shot, this shot. These people, we need to call these people out, can you guys go get ready, get dressed, as opposed to, oh, yeah, can you wear that t-shirt tonight, because we might be doing some filming.
Yeah, no, it was a real operation shooting in my old school, actually. And that was actually the first day of filming after we shot Wolf's guest appearance.
Was it?
That was, it was basically the start of the shoot.
Yeah, because I remember the whole Wolf thing. I remember when you told me about that, I was like, no way, no.
Yeah.
Like, that was like my childhood right there.
Yeah.
When you told me, you were like, oh, Wolf's in it, I was like, who? Wolf? Who who sent me a picture. I was like, oh my god! All I can see is him stood on top of a podium with one of those barge things, just bang bang.
Yeah. No, I remember it was a great going off. I mean, it's still really bizarre that it happened, but I do remember just thinking like this film, as with many low budget films, you do want a name attached to it, and then if it's a niche film, then a niche name can kind of work for you. So I was just like, this film's definitely an ode to my childhood. What sort of '90s childhood hero could we reach out to? And pretty soon I thought of Wolf, but obviously he was in New Zealand, so it was just luck that he was in the UK at the time, and we hit him up, and he was receptive to the idea, and he was wonderful. So yeah, I still can't believe that happened either.
Yeah, because I think you came into work one day and you're like, oh my god, we've got. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then maybe you sent me a picture of like when you were filming it. I was like, oh fucking hell, this is actually getting all proper serious now.
Yeah,
like
escalated quickly.
In my head, it was before all of that, it was very much a case of this is just going to be kind of similar because that was my only experience in knowing it. I didn't really.
Well, if anything, it was presented as a lot looser because it was everybody shoots, everybody stars. We were on a higher camera, so you'd be forgiven for thinking it'd be even looser than Cannibal County, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little bit of a shock, I think. And then when obviously doing the filming parts, I was like, hold on a minute, this is mad. Like, I still remember the party bit as well, going to film that. That was awesome.
Yeah, what were your memories of the party? I mean, that's probably your biggest sequences, you know.
Yeah, no, turning up to the party, that was awesome because I remember
it was big as well, wasn't it? It was an operation too.
It was huge. I mean, my favourite part of that whole thing, and not going to lie, was the fact it turned up and there was an N64 there.
PlayStation, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, PlayStation 2 with bloody old school CRT TV. And it's like
Tekken and Warriors. I think it was Tekken 3, so it was PS1 game then.
Oh, yeah. There was Tekken, there was Warriors, and you had GTA as well, didn't you?
I think so, yeah. We basically knew we were going to have to cycle around a lot of extras who'd very kindly given up their weekend to join us. So we built a gazebo, put the food in there, and we thought, let's have a TV so people can just play video games and have a little Tekken tournament when they're not shooting. It worked out great. Everybody has very fond memories of that. There's footage of it as well. You see everybody having a great time.
Oh, that
just lying in the grass in between scenes. I remember just seeing like Josh just like sleeping on the lawn.
And there was so many people there that I didn't know. There were so many people. I mean, because you even got people who I hadn't heard from in like years, like Emma. And it was like, oh, hello, you're right, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll give you a lift down.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I've just edited the scene with the stoners and the weed smoking, which I'll send you, by the way. But obviously, you're not actually in that scene, but you helped get people to set for that, and you were doing the sleigh and stuff. So, again, giving up your evening. Very kind of you, sir.
But yeah, that party scene was amazing. Like, I didn't expect it to take as long as it was until I went in there and I saw how many things you guys had to do each shot.
I don't know how much you'd read of the script, but like, it's just sequence after sequence after sequence, that stuff, because the whole vibe of the movie is just things just escalate in this really crazy way. So the party being the centerpiece of the film, I mean, now I'm editing it together, and luckily it is cutting pretty well together, and it's only early days with the edit anyway, it would be long, but I realized how ambitious it was just going in and shooting action scenes like that, and I don't even think that we necessarily storyboarded it that much. We were staging it on set. I mean, Jack Willis was there for that, who was a huge help.
Yeah.
He was always just a very logical, always on the ball kind of guy with these things. Like, he doesn't get mixed up very much, whereas I find it's easy to forget things unless you have, someone to do that with. So Jack's been that, Matt Miles has done that for me. And
he is the man made bloody checklist. Like, I can imagine if there was anything you ever needed organising, Jack Willis would be the one to be able to say, right, this is how you organise everything, 100%. This is the order to do it in. But you've forgotten to do that. And it's just like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have him in early days on the shoot, especially when we were shooting very regularly. I mean, he struggled to have the time to join us later, but I know he's been messaging me a lot saying, oh, let me know when you're shooting because I really want to get involved again. But obviously he's a busy working cameraman, so he's got to pay the bills, like all of us. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, the party scene was a lot of fun. That was a damn good day, though. I really enjoyed that. I didn't so much enjoy when we had to go back and do the second part of that scene.
So how did we broke it down that we did like you and Harry and Matt Flynn sort of confronting Brian at the party up until when Crit comes in, and then we went back and shot the kill, basically, right?
Yeah, because when we went back, that was the weekend of Folk Festival.
Yeah, I'm still very grateful that you showed up for that, because I would have understood,
I was
even though it
going
would have
to
been a
say,
massive pain in the ass.
so if anybody's watching this and they don't know what Wimborne Folk Festival is, I can summarise it by just telling you what I did the day before. So
Okay, go ahead.
I went out with a couple of guys. The rule we have is it's 1 before 9 or 9 before 1. And that's pints. And that's before 9 a.m. or
Yep.
1 p.m.
Okay.
I turned up in Wimborne at about 10 o'clock, about 10 a.m. So, unfortunately, I didn't wake up and have my drink. So, I proceeded to... Yeah, it was a heavy weekend.
Wow.
And we were going until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And this is just constantly going. I think one of us went into the medical tent, and then you get live music. We're on the stage in a field. It's called Party in the Paddock.
Yeah. Oh, fond memories of that. Last time I was there was the last fight I was in. So.
So obviously, I've got this text from Will on like it was like the week before, saying, "Matt, are you going to be okay to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there, 100%." As we get closer, I realise that this is going to be more and more of a challenge for me. And I think I remember begging you to make it a little bit later or do me as late as you can.
We've had very early starts on Crit in general, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm on the best day. I'm not an early starter.
Yeah.
You know, I normally get up at the weekend at about 1 p.m. So bear in mind, this is after drinking probably twice my body weight and doing God knows what else. And then I wake up, I've got all my alarms set. I wake up and I don't think I'd actually got hungover or anything else because I was still going.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it came over to do the second shot and I actually don't remember most of it. I remember getting there. I remember lying outside.
Yeah, I remember that,
and
actually.
Just lying on the grass. And I think Josh was talking to me. I can't remember if he actually was or not. Then I remember going inside. And then slowly I started to get back to normal. And then I think it was about 6 p.m. where I just got hit like a freight train. And then you were like...
Were we still shooting then?
I think it was because I think I only turned up around about 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay. You must have shot something else in the morning.
Yeah, because I think you guys were shooting and you were texting me when I was waking up saying, "Are you coming? Because we need to do your shot." I was like, "Yes, I'll make it." And then everyone was sort of chilling out. I was like, "I've got to go home and go back to bed. I've just got to leave." And you were like, "It's all right. We've finished everything you're in. You can go."
Because that's so relieved.
I think I was going to stay a little bit longer for being one of the guys in the suits, but I don't think I could have done it.
Yeah, that's right, because we originally planned to shoot all these agents, which are masked, allows us to use anyone as an extra, shooting at Crit. But we ended up going back and reshooting that.
Oh, did you?
Months later, and it looked really good. So it was for the best, really.
Yeah.
But you didn't have any lines that day, then? Was it just having your head spun and stuff?
I think. Yeah, no, there was 1 or 2 bits where I had to get into position. I had to do marks because that was where we entered the party.
Yeah,
as well.
we kind of picked up the end of that scene. I think we got some really good coverage there, which helps us in the edit, so it was worth it. But I'm just thinking, if you were feeling that fucking rough, putting fake blood in your mouth couldn't have been a great feeling.
Oh no, that was sugary. That was all right.
I feel like that made me throw up. Yeah, so your character's wrapped. How does that feel? You've got an advantage on most people.
I remember when you told me I was wrapped, and I was like, "Oh, can I be in it more? Can I have another character?"
You probably still can, but it must be a bit agonizing for you because everyone else is like, "Well, we've got scenes to finish," but you're probably just waiting to see the finished result, and it's obviously quite a slow process.
I think that's why most of my messages aren't how's Crit going. It's like, is it done yet? I want to watch it. I want to see it. But I don't know. It's kind of. I mean, it's meant I can spend more time working on the car, which is all right.
Yeah, and you don't have to. You can sleep when you're hungover now, which is also good.
I get to sleep, which is probably good after you saw what I was like at Christmas.
What are you most looking forward to when the film's done then?
Watching it.
Were you seeing any particular bits you're looking forward to seeing? I guess it'd be your death, right? Probably.
Obviously, I mean, because you have sent me a GIF of that.
Well, that's only one stage of death. It gets worse.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
I'm really looking forward to joining you at the premiere when we've saved up some money for a ridiculous bar tab and we can just get wasted and enjoy the film together. You know.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there, Matt. I'll probably have a chat with you after this, but thanks for joining and thanks for giving up your weekends and coming in. You've been a really great part of the film. I love the character. You're a great bully, even though you're a pretty nice guy. Fun fact: you and Tom Wareham did used to start on me in the playground in first course, so I don't know if that fed into my casting of you at all.
Yeah, fair play. Well, just to counter that, you used to then bully me after that.
Then we're all quits. I just put you in
was-
a movie though, so I owe you when you make your film, and then we'll be even for sure.
Yeah, when I make, I'm just not sure you want to be in the sort of films that I'll end up making.
Well, my people will speak to your people, I guess. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Matt. It's been real. Yeah, let's show you some more of your scenes soon, hopefully. And
Look forward to it.
catch you when I'm back in town.
100%. We'll have to go for a socially distanced beer or 5.
Sounds good. All right.
All right, see you in a bit, bro.
Bye.